Good morning, YouTube. Listen, is my page in vain, or are you learning to make biscuits, or have you already learned to make them? I keep making them. Y'all keep telling me you're afraid to make them. Please don't be afraid. I love my YouTube followers to do a biscuit and put it in there and show it to me. If you can, if they let you do that on there. I don't know if they do or not. Here's my bowl of white lily flour. I wished I had a bag of it in here, but I don't. I keep mine in a bowl. It's self-rising. Self-rising. I've got my oven set on 500 degrees. And you're saying to yourself, oh my word, Brenda. I'm going to do 2 chicken egg size of, I'm using the lard this morning. You can use whatever you want to. Butter, oil, solid grease, whatever you want. If you could find whole milk, buttermilk, buy it. I cannot find it. This is the fat-free. I want the fat in it because it tastes so good. So here's my grease. I've got it in my bird nest. And I'm just going to start pouring in a little buttermilk. I'm going to pour in about maybe a cup to 2 cups. I got a lot of biscuits I need to bake this morning. And so I'm just going to work that around like this. Let it come in there slowly. I'm bringing my, I'm working it and I'm bringing my flour in at the same time. You only use one hand. Can YouTube followers, can y'all share this? Does it let you do that on your YouTube? Have y'all shared it? Are you helping me out to help America to make a biscuit, or are you just keeping it all to yourself? Huh? What are y'all doing? I read your comments and I don't see that y'all shared it any. All right, there we go. I think that's going to be a plenty. Now let me work my flour into it. All right, there's my little thing going off saying it's at 500 degrees. Listen, y'all, the reason I want you to cook it at 500 degrees is because it's actually necessary. And here's the reason. If you cook your biscuits on 350 or 400, they're going to be dried out. And why are they going to be dried out? Because they have to stay in there so long to get done. So the quicker you make your biscuits and the hotter you make your biscuits when you put them in the oven, the faster they rise and the slower they dry out. And you're going to say, how long do we cook them, Miss Brenda? Well, you're going to have to look in your oven, and when they get that light brown color like you like, or the dark brown color like you like, then take them out. They're done. They don't take but probably, in my oven, they don't take but about 8 to 10 minutes is all they take. All right, so what you do after you get this done, that looks good to me. Looks real good. You don't want to work it too long. Clean your hands off like this. Put that dough back in there. And I did sift my flour too, but you want to use self-rising. That way you don't have to add anything to it. I'm going to move this out of the way, and I am going to flour my hands so I can pick it up. Flour my surface, and here I go. I'm going to pick it up in 2 different bowls because it's so much. I made a bunch today. Well, it might be 3 bowls. I got to have a lot today. It's a pretty big crowd. So, anyway, flip it over a time or 2 like that. Not too many times. You don't want it. You don't want to just keep working it. Pat it out to about, I would say, a 1/2 inch or a tad bit more. And let's see what happens. Okay. I've got me an old can here that I'm going to stick. What you do is you put this in your flour like that and knock it off. And that's to get it floury inside, and that way your biscuit won't stick to it. Here's our pan right here. Let me turn it that way just a tad where you can see. Now, there you go. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. That'll fit on this square pan. Did I tell y'all that my other pan, my round pan, broke? And it was my fault. Because what happened was that I had it sitting on this eye back here. And nothing was in the pan. It was just sitting there. And I didn't realize that the eye was on. I don't know. I just didn't know it was on. So, all of a sudden I was in the kitchen and I heard a big pop, real loud. And it was that, my pan got too hot and it actually split from one side to the other. It's still in one piece because it went almost an inch close to the end of the other side of the pan, and then it stopped splitting. I really hate that. I've had that pan for a long, long, long time. This pan I've got right here, you got 5 going down and 5 across, so that's 5 times 5 is 25 biscuits it holds. And I'm for sure going to put that many on here. And then I'm going to reball this stuff up. And we'll make, I've got another pan over here. We're going to put some in it. Okay, one more row and I'll be through with this one. Please, y'all, please share this if YouTube lets you share. I don't know if YouTube lets you share. I really don't know much about the mechanics of all this stuff. I just cook. Y'all will have to inform me and help me. I do know that there's one station on there that's stolen my son-in-law's and mine at the same time. It's called, what they do is, here's our pan, 25 of them. Now let me grease another pan. What they did was this. Whoever it was, they have my name at the top. It says Cooking with Brenda Gann. Then right under it, little tiny word, it says Shepherding Outdoors. Well, that's my son-in-law's page. He's got a YouTube page, but it only says his name, not mine and his, and mine doesn't say his and mine. Does that sound confusing? All right. Let me put flour in my hands again. I got to get this up. There we go. All right, so there was 25 in that pan. Let's see what we get right here. How much is a can? How much money does a can of, an 8-count can of biscuits cost in the grocery store? Can y'all tell me that? How much money does an 8-count can of those biscuits that you pop out, I call them WAP biscuits, how much do they cost when you have to buy them for something? All right, I don't know how much they cost, but we're going to count our biscuits here, and we're going to see how many we made this morning, and then we're going to see how much it would have cost if we'd had to buy all of them. I don't know, because I don't buy them. The only time I buy them is there's a recipe that I really like, and it's called apple dumpling. So it's really good. There's 8 biscuits in a can, most cans. I think you can buy some that's got 5 in it. All right, so here we go. We're on our last biscuit, and here's what I do. I just take it like that. Well, gosh, I think I got 2 biscuits there. That's a lot of dough. Take the last of your dough, roll it in a ball, and put it on your pan, and push it down with the back of your fingers like your granny did it. Like your granny did it. Then rub your hands together with all this dry flour that's on the board here, and your hands will come clean. All right, so we know we've got 25 in that pan. So this is 25, okay. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. So I guess you would say 38. There's 8. 4 of 8 is 32. And so we have that plus more. So you would have to buy 5 containers of those biscuits to have what we just made for little or nothing. Just a little elbow grease, and that's all. So if the biscuits were $4, I guess you'd say 4 times 5, which would be $20. Right? Okay. And I clean my surface up. I take this thing and rake it like that. I've got my oven set. Now, you won't see them coming out of the oven. You're not going to see them because I'm rushed. But I will say this. Mine are going to be kind of it's not time to put them on right this second. A light brown is what I like. And then you get your knife and open it up. And your biscuit. And you can put you some gravy on it. If you want to, you can put you some butter and jelly or jam. You can open it up and put butter on it and then syrup. I love syrup on a biscuit. I love honey on a biscuit. Well, heck, I just love biscuits. I just love them. And I like them in the wintertime. I really like them a lot at night. Like if you're having some fried chicken and rice and gravy, that's so good to have a good hot biscuit with that, or some pork chops. It's not just a breakfast food. And I keep mine over here. And this one right here, this is the self-rising that I just got this. I keep that in it so I don't get them mixed up. It's the White Lily self-rising. And then this one is the White Lily plain flour. And what I do with the plain flour, I do a lot of stuff with it. But I will say this, it's so good that I don't buy cake flour. I use the plain flour for my cakes and put in my soda and, baking soda and all baking powder and salt and all that, whatever the recipe calls for. And I don't buy cake flour because this flour is so fine. Now what I'm going to do with this bowl right here is I will sift it and get it ready for the next time. And then where I store it is I just take this cloth right here. This is the cloth that stays over it all the time. And I cover it up like this and put it in my cabinet. And then in the morning, I'll get it back out. So that's what I do. I don't want to have to wash a bowl every time, and neither did your grandparents. They didn't wash bowls all the time. They had a lot of them had what you call a Hoosier cabinet that kept the flour literally in the cabinet in this bin. And so when she wanted some, she just stuck her bowl under there and did this little handle, and the flour would come out of that Hoosier cabinet and fall into her bowl. So that was really nice. I've seen some Hoosier cabinets around. They're very expensive in the antique stores, and they're getting kind of, as they used to say in the South, and they probably still do, scarce as hen's teeth. Y'all ever heard that? Listen, anyway, when you put yours in the oven, gas stoves and electric stoves cook it a little bit different type, but just watch them and you'll be fine on 500. And those convection ovens, I really don't like those. Your biscuits really just hardly ever get brown. They come out kind of white looking, and I don't like convection ovens. I like the traditional gas or traditional electric, or a wood stove if you got that. I had a sister-in-law that she wanted a wood stove. She wanted a wood stove, so her husband bought it, put it kind of in the basement, and had it flued out and everything. And she cooked her some biscuits on it. She said they were so good. When I was teaching school, I was teaching about electricity to 7th graders. And I was teaching them about a complete circuit. And then I started talking about, in the olden days, people didn't have electric stoves. They had to use a wood stove. And so we talked a while, and I told him, how good it cooked and this, that, and the other. And the little boy raised his hand, and God love him. He said, how come that wood stove didn't burn up? Isn't that darling? I didn't explain it very well. That was bad teaching on my part. I just assumed everybody knew what a wood stove is. If you're assuming that your children know something, don't assume that. They may not know. Okay? Love y'all. Take care and make you some biscuits. My goodness, make you some biscuits. And my goodness, share this if YouTube will let you share it. Cooking with Brenda Gant is my site, and I don't have any other site. My son-in-law's site is Shepherding Outdoors on YouTube. All right, love y'all. Bye-bye.